Um, Tired seems to be my middle name lately. It's August 2nd, and I think I went to bed around 11. Had a great conversation with Bean. Bean was in the foyer slash gallery of where I live. They have a gallery on the street level. It revolves with usually local artists, but sometimes they're out of town. Like there's a guy from New York there a few shows back, and Bean was there. And I was checking my mail, and if Minnow hears someone in the gallery, he wants to meet them. He pulls the leash in that direction because he's like, hey, you want to love me? I want to be loved. So, Minnow likes to meet people and wag his tail and smile. He likes to smile, and get petted at the very least. And Bean was there. Bean is she recognized me from Whole Foods, and sometimes I don't remember, or, I see people from Whole Foods because I shop there a lot. It's in the neighborhood, and don't always remember them when they're outside of Whole Foods. So that kind of happened for a moment, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Bean, I know. She wanted to know what I was sewing, so I told her about the ordering silk and the idea of the honeycomb back headboard draping for my canopy bed, and we talked about her kids, and very, very interesting. It was a great conversation. It was very enriching, as it were. And on top of meeting Duncan last night, the video before, let's see. Yeah, so I went to bed late, or late for me, 11-ish, and I don't think I took trazodone. I did a kind of an old folk remedy for sleep that I read online when I was studying castor oil, the ancient palm of Christ oil. I read that you can put it on your eyelids and it helps you sleep, and honestly, it helped me sleep. Well, it helped me sleep for 4 hours, approximately 4 or 5. I was up at 4. And I questioned, did I take trazodone? I'm like, I don't think I did. Because I questioned as I was falling asleep, like, you didn't take trazodone. And I'm like, no, I don't think I did. I'm like, but man, my eyes sure feel heavy and I feel like sleeping. So I liked it. I'm getting about as much use as I get out of trazodone anyway, which is about 4 really good hours. Minnow's so dainty in his quest. You got that one little, look at that. You got a little paw up, Minnow. I know. It is a dainty quest. And that is a coffee cup. It should probably be the only thing that smells delicious. But it has a note on it. That's what I know, right? That's why it's sitting there. Thanks for putting a little paw on me. Would like some love. Hello, Minnow. Yeah. So, let's see. Anyway, castor oil. But then I was up at 4, and I thought, well, you take your trazodone now. But I'm like, no, because, shoot, I don't want to wear that off. I've got a 10 o'clock appointment for the hand therapy, not hand doctor, physical therapy, first time. And, yeah, I've been kind of a little tired all day today, but let's talk about hand doctor. Oh, very interesting. Let's see. He tested everything. We looked for, he could test flexibility, flexion, extension, one hand to the next, and and strength. We tested strength. I'm not really, my strength is, I'm not impaired so much. Um, this one, from when Minnow discovered Minnow likes coffee, because way back had the Starbucks coffee, left it in the car, then pumped my gas, and Minnow turned it over into my seat trying to get the lid off, and then I smelt of sour milk for 2 months every time I drove the car. Discovered then Minnow likes coffee. So this one, the middle finger tendon right at the knuckle joint, hey. uh, I didn't want to put my coffee down because I knew Minnow liked coffee. And I needed to back up the car in the covered parking area, which is kind of tight. And I used my middle finger to turn that steering wheel, which, if the car is not going at speed, is a lot more, you have to apply a lot more, there's a lot more resistance. If you're driving fast, that would be fairly easy. So, alas, I was not thinking, and maybe like I should, and that middle joint smarted, like I hit it with a hammer, immediately turned red and swollen. And it's still swollen, and you can see that. And we saw that today. It's still swollen. And you can see that the tendon, unlike this other one that tracks on top, this one is going to the side. And it's swollen all the way back here and off to the side. It's still swollen. And that happened not too long after the pet ego trying to use my thumb to put that knob in the floor, and it kept popping up on the other side, so I used that one and pushed really hard, and then the thumb skewed to the side. It went to the side. It's not how a thumb is supposed to flex. So the hand doctor did a test to see how elastic, how much elasticity, elastin I have, and so I can do the party trick of touching my thumb. Is that it? Yeah, I could touch my thumb to my wrist. Yeah. So on the bell curve of elasticity, the big bell part is where most people land. I'm slightly off it towards being extra flexible, but not maybe in the Cirque du Soleil ability. I'm not trying to anyway, but I have more elasticity. And he explained to me from a rehab therapy point of view that having elasticity in my joints, and he had me put this out too, I've got hyper, just by, I'm a bit hyper, I can hyperextend. Where some people have less elasticity, and so they're more, it's difficult for them to touch their toes. They don't have as much elasticity in their joints. To reference that, I told him the first time I was fitted for orthotics, the doctor was like, I've got hypermobile ankles, and I also said to him then, I turn my ankle once, I'll turn it 5 more times that week. Pros and cons of having more elasticity than less is you don't know you've overdone or overextended something because you're not getting the feedback. So, for instance, using my joints in a very bad motion to move a steering wheel going slow is not a good idea. My joints, pros and cons, my tendons will flex. They've got a lot of elasticity, which means I can roll. I can roll over a stretch to accommodate mistakes, but healing then takes a very, very long time because I've overextended. And so I asked him, so I understood this. And he showed me pictures online, like you would tear, material on one side so this tendon, when I close my wrist, is tracking off to the side now. This is it's at least a month and a half injury, possibly 2 months. So you can see it's taking a long time to heal. And he's like, your window, the window would have been better earlier, which the hand doctor didn't even, in reading the notes to send to therapy, didn't even comment on my middle finger, which I asked him about. So, so I commented to the therapy person, yeah, it was odd because my time with the doctor was interrupted. He forgot to show me the other x-ray of the other hand too. Basically his notes were, he sees no reason for my complaint for pain and that I am happy with going forward and living with it. Which is not exactly how I remembered it. I remembered leaving like, wow, I'm glad I didn't have to pay for that. I wonder how much it cost, and I still have questions. I don't really know why I was there today. And that I didn't really accomplish anything. The thumb at the time was still swollen, and every time I flushed the toilet, it hurt and swell up again. So, you're looking for a place, aren't you, here? Let me get you a little place. There's a little place. It's got your name on it right here. Yes, that's so nice and soft. Wow. Okay, so, anyway, he was kind of reading the doctor's notes. He was a little kind of like, now he asked me it all over again. Tell me what happened, and so at least with him I was able to piece something together and to understand, kind of ironically, I haven't been going to the gym because of other issues of leaking, but lifting weights is not good for this. In that it's still inflamed. So he was thinking it would have been nice if the first doctor had relayed a message or cared. If I'm going to put a splint on to see if it will heal itself, it would have been better to catch it earlier, because he says there's a window. What we're looking at now for a splint, it's got to have my middle finger straight out. No, seriously, it's doctor approved. I'm supposed to have my fucking middle finger straight. I have to keep it straight for about 6 to 8 weeks. I was laughing. I'm like, really? It would be so funny to get my doctor approved splint of keeping my middle finger straight out there and go apply for jobs. Well, as it is, I go to camps with a lot of kids. Hey kids, I can check your head. Come over here. Go over here. Oh, hi kids parents. Oh, this is doctor approved. Trying to heal my tendon. Okay. Anyway, playing with the idea that the best healing for my finger is to keep my finger straight out and to keep it straight like this. The irony, right? That might allow the joint to heal. Now I can try and, hide the fact that it's just the middle finger that needs to be straight by putting a few more with it and keeping them all straight. But he's thinking that the grasping is caused, since it's still swollen, and it's swollen into this area, because we can chart the the hand. We could chart the hand, compare it to the other, and you could see this tendon in this hand, in the right hand, but you can't see it in the middle hand of the other one. So it seems to suggest that I, through using it, am causing injury. So that was interesting. I wanted to comment on that. And the other thing I wanted to comment on is talking with the previous client today. I talk to my clients about the meta of lice, how it poses a question, just a perpetual question. And, like nothing eats the lice. That does not fit in our food chain. It does not fit in scientifically. It does not fit in logically, rationally, reasonably, in a cycle and by cycle that we understand the world to exist. Lice does not fit in that. And nothing eats the lice, it doesn't fit in a food chain and of awareness. And then the other is the glue. Certainly positioning the lice eggs and knitting it with glue. I'm curious where the glue comes from. Does it come out the butt? Does it come out the mouth? Does it come out the gill? is a question. And then, but positioning it at your root, it looks like your root. When it's viable, it's the color of most people's roots, which is a translucent brown. And the lice is born, follows gravity, and your head, life is a banquet. Because lice eat your scalp. They make a blood meal of your scalp. And so it's curious to me, the positioning. Your scalp, not your pet's scalp. It doesn't want animal blood. And it's not the same as scabies, lice, body lice. Body lice in your genital areas likes it dirty. Lice on your head, there's no stigma in the sense that it likes clean hair. There is a stigma, in my opinion and experience now, if you got so much freaking lice that I'm throwing out combs because I get a solid brown, black napkin. and the bugs pile up a half-inch down and a half-inch high. To me, that's a stigma. If you're a child, that your parents are not at home. Your parents are not paying attention. Your parents are not present. And that's really unfortunate. To me, that's starting to be a stigma, especially when you as a child normalize it. Okay, and so that happened here too. And I'm only gleaning this in reflection, like, shit, that shit was not going down right. For the child to be like, oh yeah, that, let down her hair, and I'm like, I don't have to do a head check. I just knocked 12. I didn't knock it. I just let down your hair, and like, you've got more than a dozen bugs on your t-shirt. Oh, that happens when I let my hair down. Well, does anyone else notice in your house that happens? And what are they doing about it to get to this degree where it's a stigma now? Okay. It's a stigma that you have that much lice that you could be like, here, start a nation. I'm sharing. So, even if I don't mean to. So talk about, the glue. The glue is a curious meta for me too, because what glue? Can you scientifically explain that you can put your thumb on the egg, move it down its shaft, and then it sticks? It sticks where you last parked it. So I wonder, does it have to do with the dynamic of the hair, which metaphorically is HAIR, the thread and the tread, to be aware, to be bred, to rise from the dough. I was there. I carried the air. I wonder about what glue, can slide and then sticks. Where you parked it, well, I think about hair. Hair shaft. Hair has scales. I mean, you take a piece of hair, you can't rub it one way as easily as the other, which is basically going from your crown and vertically, down or away from your crown. That's the way it slides easily down the scales, because the scales are laid on top of each other. So it'll slide. But if you're trying to slide up that, it's gonna be bumpy. So it does not slide as easy. And you can try that on your own hair. Your finger will slide down because of the scales. And the scales, in a way, they're away from your center, from the cuticle, from the scalp, from the crown. So I think of vertical sliding and scales on the hair and the shaft, see half. I think of that as, well, vertical I think of as the plane view, PLANE, looking from on top down, as opposed to across the plane, PLAIN. So I think of vertical as spiritual, and the crown, When I use heat to treat lice here, the lice migrate, because I start at the neck and go back and around in a horseshoe pattern as I go up. And the nozzle we use is square, and it has little cutouts to blow that air upwards also. So no matter where someone's going to feel or sight their biggest bug infestation, oh, it's here behind the ear. If they have active bugs, I will find the biggest scoop in my lice comb on the crown, the last place that I treat with the hot air, with the heat. So the last client, so funny, we're both in the same stage of not having that much sleep today. And she told me, she found the lice last night and she didn't sleep a lot, which most people don't. If they find lice, if they try to go back to sleep, they're not going to sleep. If they stay up to try and get rid of the lice, they're not sleeping either. If they try to sleep, they're thinking about all the things they need to do to try to get rid of the lice. So it happens. Getting rid of lice is often about getting your equilibrium back. So she was saying that she didn't get any sleep, and yeah, I said the lice is preying on you. And I mean PREYE. It's a pest, but it's treating you as, its prey, but by making you its host. But I think there is a metaphor for the religious praying, because there's something very fornicating about never bringing your God and always speaking of it to do of. And you're presented the opportunity, and I'm not really sure how you're getting your wires crossed. that you don't actually care enough, and you only care to sustain the t-en parentheses d OUGH-T tend enough dough height that's hyphened, because you think you already brought the time. I was thinking the biggest Jewish misconception is a huge cover-up because you feel guilt. So you're claiming that Christ came through your veins, biblically, but you have a whole lot of guilt on your plate. But what you're doing is you're creating competition because, well, Hitler's time, he was pretty pissed off. He saw that you were cornering the market with only each other's provision. Your competition bred competition for no reason. It's a big cover-up because you feel guilt. And we need to start living now. T-E-N parentheses D O-W-E. 10 now O. You owe the now O by dowing with O. Okay. You endow it so. What else? Yeah, it's not just guilt that you're covering up now. Now to sustain that guilt is not appearing as guilt by producing an image that you didn't really care to feel. Feel, felt, and carry as the weld. Endow. You have to keep up the ruse. It's a ruse. And I would imagine, having grown up in religion and saw how some people used religion precisely, no different than the law-s-t, no different than feminism, often, is to point the finger to not get pointed at. So you position yourself very precisely in religion so you can point the finger and not be pointed at. What are you pointing the finger? That you would have passed the hat. And I'm saying it's not back to back. And you can't artifact it either. On my last. So it looks like you didn't mean K-N-I-T and you meant N-I-T. If you asked me without askewing me with hyphens. So what I'm getting is me as ea.ven approaching Toft is it's about who's in mind. And so when you hyphenated and in quotations approach me because you screwed the U with hyphens, S-C-R-E-W-E-D, you're basically stating, Mr. whatever your name is, who yelled out a question that you set up if I was sitting there like a cunt in my vehicle. You, Mr. Cunt, you handed Doft to be in front so you can barrage me with your nonsense from behind me to be by B-I hyphen G hyphen O-T hyphen off hyphen T. Got off. You got off Toft, okay? He considers it his right to feel hyphen D and to feed hyphen D and to feed and feel his eel, E-E-L, the water snake, his emotions for no reason. On my break, on my bake, it's my break, my dough. So my ability to transcend and keep editing the same amens is I paid and spent the debt to edit it. Which is curious. And I didn't always see that. But I'm starting to see the value of the arrangement. What else? Some other thoughts I wanted to relate, but they expand. Let's see. Yeah, who I had in mind. Now that I'm bringing my own witness, even you, PC punt and cunt thief end, you get to stand on your own doftmanship. And I think you understand you can't call another doft to be doft for you. Event through, even true. So sorry for you, you didn't care to bring two. It's not my fault. Tisk, K-N-O-T O-F X-F, F by F, A-L-L-T. Put that F by F and that all in parentheses, T, you've got the feet. Offal is your refuse. That's what fall to the feet. Holistically, so I'll be spelling this out. I put with whatever that video is about. He sought, S-A-W, parentheses E-T, sought tooth, cut, toft. Through and true. So you beleaguering me by, I can't turn left because the traffic is built up. And you, PC punt and cunt thief end, pass a doft for that traffic to be built up, duped up. And I get you're frustrated about it, but rather than beleaguering me with your idiocy, you already passed doft. I suggest you bring a better doffer. D-O-F-F-E-R-E. Because now we can see your emotions are that of an idiot who craves to be in fancy D. Put your hyphens in that. In fan hyphen T. C hyphen D. See doftone all over the place. Wee, aren't I plucking lucky? I could find doft blindfolded. Build a whole business upon it. K-N-I-T. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing that you hyphenated can do. Because you didn't can the D-O. I did. In my framework and fretwork, where no doft can proclaim it. He's not the mitt, okay? He can't innocently proclaim it. You can't even draw attention to it, because drawing attention to it shows you're definitely a nitwit. But it also shows that you are passing doft, and you know enough to passe daft so that you can honor your compliance to complain for no reason you apparently never gave because you didn't want to. But that's passe daft by the wayside. Okay? You didn't want to. That's what it comes down to. You didn't want to, so I'm picking up the zero effort and I'm towing it along, and we're seeing you don't rate one song or one dong. When you're thief and strong, what else? Saw, SAW, parentheses ET, toff, parentheses T, I divided by N, E, parentheses D, N, A, M, parentheses E, I, N, parentheses E, D, O, U, B, T, parentheses A, U. You be the beta and you be ta, U. AU is the chemical element for gold. GO, low, road. Or if you prefer, GO, parentheses ALLD. What else? Industriously, for only having 4 or 5 hours sleep and feeling like it today, I had some very lucid, top quality, top shelf thoughts and notes I got down. But you know what? It's behind that pile and that pile and that pile and that pile. And I'm going to do my best to keep staying on this, but I like what's developing, I would say. Besides all the ironies of a hysterectomy appointment to make, working on my the assembly of fixing my tendon by sticking out my middle finger for quite a while. I'm sorry. But here's the options. I've got this one and it's already bent. So that's from high school. I was a distance runner, a little skinny distance runner in Moose in PE. It was like 3 guys rolled into one, and he was tall, and he didn't get the memo. It was touch football. I got the football for the first time that week in PE, and he tackled me, and I flew through the air. I don't know what he was thinking. He could just put his foot out, and he would have stopped me. I mean, he just did that. He could have done what Happy Morrow did. What is it with these guys in high school? The day of it was a semifinals or the state meet in track. I was going out the big heavy gym doors, and he slammed that heavy door on me. He slammed it, and I had bruises and knots all on my backside. So I'm on the bus going, I'm handicapped. I've got a major race today. High school is either regional semis or state, and I'm like, yeah. I tried to explain that to my coach, so I didn't do this. It was not in my makeup to go fuck me up before I go perform. It was not in my makeup, but now I get to right on the way on the bus go like this. Thank you. I think he got suspended for a little bit. I just mentioned to my coach in case he wanted to know, I was running so stiff. But yeah, so at the time, I didn't know about a hand doctor, and I if I said anything to my parents, that's this one. If I said anything to my parents, I landed here first. It's called a mallet finger. And I was explained by the therapy person today that it can be fixed, but you need to put that in a splint and catch it in a window in hopes that it will repair itself. Again, pros and cons, because I got so much elastin, it's going to take longer, uh, in hopes that it would. This one too, so going back to the doctor, the hand doctor, who's like, she doesn't need a splint, but I'm like, it's crooked, it swells up, and it hurts every time I flush the toilet. And I'm trying to rip open my sugar bag for my coffee because I'm like, oh, this one's not working. I'm trying to do it backwards with this one. And, he made up notes that I agree that I am satisfied with the results of visiting him that day. And all I had was like, I'm perplexed. I paid you through the insurance for answers. Now, I'd be more pissed off if I actually had to pay you, but extra money besides out of pocket already this year, because I don't know what I got out of this. Except now I'm left kind of like more alone in seeking, how do I fix something that the doctor says, the expert says, it's not a problem. I'm like, but you want to flush my toilet for me? So unfortunately, because it was my own initiation to see the therapy person, and I called the insurance to say, hey, can I, do I need someone to get this appointment for me? I think I need to see this person. And then it took time to get the appointment. Time has passed, and he's afraid I may have got out the window, but I'm kind of like, God damn you, hand surgeon, why did you usher me daft? I'm seeing you because I use my hands, and I want to keep using my hands, not so that I have to have surgery by your accommodations. So anyway, look, if the thumb's not pretty, I get it. It's usable, and the point is it's not hurting so much anymore when I flush my toilet, and it's not swelling up so much. It's still bent cockeyed, but we did tests. And while I've lost some flexibility, it's not a whole lot. Pushing my pen and writing with it, you know what? It's almost back to normal. It's great. It's not like, I can't hold it. What's going on here? And so that's fine. But this one over here is still swollen, and it does not make sense to keep. You want to be in the corner, huh, Minnow? Oh, what are you doing? You want to be in the corner pocket? You want to be closer to? You want this on you? Is that it? So you want this on you? Well, what if we did this? What if I did this? And then I did a little bit of this, and then I did some of this, and then I did some of this. Is this better? I can't believe you want the blanket, sweetie. I'm so warm. You want the blanket. I know it doesn't like to be treated like a lap dog. I'm no stinking lap dog, but if I get a nice massage, I might let that go for a little bit. He'll yawn when it's like, oh, I'm putting up with this. I'm putting up with this. Anyway, it's kind of curious that not going to the gym to lift weights is probably a good thing. And but I may be going for cardio or just elect to do it outside because I think anyway, it's so weird. I went from 0 doctors from this last year to this, started last year, to how many doctors do I have? They're all under D in my contacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 doctor slash association. Like, where do you get your pharmacy, etc. So, yeah, shoot. Let's get this figured out here. Hi, are you looking at the snacks? So that's my little dropping in today, and it looks like it's probably still very, very, very hot out. Gonna, let's see, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. I believe it's Saturday and Sunday. I work at camps, so, but, what else? Ah, nice. All right, so, time we're at the camp on one. Oh, great, nice. Replying. What else? All right, so it's hot. I want a nap, but that might throw me off for later. You really like this blanket, you know? I'm kind of surprised because I'm warm. And you like a blanket? You like a blanket? So what do you think about that? Nice. Minnow, you seem quite content for me to hold you. He gets comfortable with he really relaxes when he's warm. He just settles into relaxing. If he's not warm enough, he huddles in a fetal position, but if he's warm enough, he just drops right into this sleep. It's almost surreal. I woke up this morning and he was on the couch and his head was like dripping off the side. It was like, no, you're doing a little Salvador Dali this morning. You know, like the clock that drips off the side of the table. It was Minnow's head off the side of the couch. You like to be comfortable. Well, let's see. One reason I'm thinking of wearing a splint, and maybe not lifting up the hand weights right now, the dumbbells, etc. If I keep aggravating it, you know, that doesn't make sense to me. So to try and provide it, to find its own, as it were, recognizance, its own tracking, and not being aggravated with irritation and swelling. Hopefully that will heal itself, because it seems to keep aggravating it constantly is signing me up for damaging the joint, aka arthritis, or surgery, which, you know, surgery again, you have to recover from. What do they call it? Like a hood? I can't remember. Um, it's slipped out of its hood extension, I think. That's what he called it. I can't remember. I can remember his dog though. Very cute. And what was his name? Bogey? Bogey. That was a cute dog. Minnow. I think Minnow just wants to be. It was pretty funny to see him taking his blanket. Let's go over here. Let's go over there. All right, Minnow. Maybe I should go figure out what we're going to do for dinner and try and get here at a good time. So I'm going to stop this video earlier. Anyway, get here earlier.